Good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world. Broadcasting live from my cupboard. It's the Third and Long podcast. My name is Shane Harris. To my right is the incomparable Philip Perrins. Top left, Ollie Hope. Top right, Ollie Butler Henderson. Gentlemen, wow! Free agency is upon us. How do you see it going down? We'll break down all the news and views today. But no Ravens news for me. But you lot have done well, haven't you? Fair play to you.
I was going to say, I know it's free agency, but are the Ravens aware?
Probably not. Eric DeCosta is trying his best to sort of contract out to keep LG.
Well, I mean, to most NFL fans, it's been quite an extraordinary, Thursday. But from in terms of free agency for the Baltimore Ravens, it's just the 16th of March, like it would be every year.
Sorry, boys. Before we begin properly, I need to point something out. Philip, what shirt are you wearing there?
I'm wearing the incomparable AFC Richmond. Come on, the Greyhounds.
Come on, the Greyhounds.
With my boy Roy Kent on
I
They're going to finish. They're going to finish bottom this season.
No, you've been listening to all the pundits. They will finish above West Ham. All right, and that turncoat.
All right,
Jermaine Genius, Graham Souness, Glenn Hoddle, all saying they're going to finish bottom.
Phil, I thought you put that on the back. I thought somebody spelled your last name wrong.
To be fair, there was an option to get my name on the back of the shirt. I went, no, I'm going to stay loyal to one of England's greatest ever players, Roy Kent.
Gentlemen, it's we've got a busy show, so we actually talk about it.
Yes, we can.
Should we just jump straight into it?
Yes.
Yeah, should we go with the one that broke probably about less than 24 hours after us instead of free agency?
Okay.
Should we go to Chicago?
Yeah.
Let's go to Chicago, jumping to the number one pick in the draft, which is absolutely insane. Who are they picking?
Anthony Richardson.
Gentlemen?
Yeah, I go with that. I go with that.
Seriously, I've seen rumours from many sources that the Frank Reich's number one QB is Richardson.
The main story is CJ Stroud is still favourite to go number one.
Is he? Is he taken Bryce Young?
Yeah.
He is the one that they want to take. He's the one that wants to go first. He is the most QB ready to enter this draft. He'll look after the ball.
I mean, Ohio State played quite a sort of NFL-like offense, so he is probably the most NFL-ready quarterback. People are still worried about Bryce Young and his size, even though he's basically a Kyler Murray clone.
Kyler Murray clone? No, I don't see that. Sorry.
Well, I mean, they're the same height and 3 pounds difference in weight.
No way.
And they probably both got their Xbox gamer tags as well.
Yeah.
Were they weighing Bryce Young with lead weights? Because no way is that bloke the same size as Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray looks his weight.
At the combine, he was 207, and at the combine, Bryce Young was 204.
Yeah, I generally don't believe it. I think Bryce Young is still under 190. He doesn't look a 204 quarterback. He doesn't look big enough. There's not enough muscle mass in his body to be a 204 quarterback.
Well, while we're talking about this, have you guys been watching the pro days?
I've been watching bits, yeah.
Jalen Carter struggled. He seriously struggled.
Yeah, I saw that today. There's going to be.
I think his draft stock's going to drop anyway, and I think this just adds to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is where he missed doing the drills, on-field drills at the combine because of what's going on. He's now pleaded a no contest plea, so he's pretty much gone. Yeah, I fucked up. I'm guilty. Sorry. And now he's gone. Now he's had a really bad combine. It's like he's saying he struggled. His 40 times wasn't quick enough. His vertical wasn't big enough. His broad jump wasn't good enough either. There's a lot of worries there. I could see him dropping probably to the low first round, maybe even early top second round. I really do.
We'll see next week when our mock draft 2.0 comes out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. I mean, I've seen a couple down today, and one of them hasn't even got him in the first round. Yes, putting out there. Who's won this draft, this trade?
Both teams.
I want to say the Bears, to be fair. I think they've got a king's ransom. I think they had the Panthers over a barrel for this.
Yeah.
I feel
completely
like that is the going rate for a pick like that, though.
One of the best wide receivers in the game, and all those picks as well.
So when the Niners moved up to 3, we paid what?
All you took 6 minutes. All you took 6 minutes to mention it.
We paid 3 first-round picks and a third.
Mm-hmm.
So they've effectively paid 2 first-round picks, and let's call DJ Moore another first-round pick talent.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Then they paid 2 seconds to go to first overall. So
I think they've overpaid.
Yeah,
If it had just been the draft picks, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's a fair one. But they've thrown in a very, very good wide receiver. Phil, you're going to jump in there? Sorry, mate.
I mean, I think the Panthers have got the better deal out of this, and the reason why is because not since, say, let's be generous to the Bears and say, in the last 15 years, they are recognizably, seen as a poorly run team with a poorly run office. And yes, they've acquired all these picks because they're in a rebuild, but so are the Panthers, and the Panthers are. I think the Panthers will be in a better position this season than the Bears, because both teams are rebuilding. But I just think the Panthers are better at doing. They acquired picks from when they sent away CMC, and you could argue that they got better after they traded away McCaffrey, which is ridiculous considering that was a mutual trade where the 49ers benefited, but then so did the Panthers. And I think whatever they've traded away to get the first round pick, I'm actually quite excited to see what the Panthers are going to do. I trust their system better than Chicago. I'm sorry, Bears fans, but the Bears haven't done shit since the 80s. It's
Hashtag Super Bowl shuffle.
Have you guys seen like the rumors that the Panthers are going to do some Sonny Weaver Jr. with it and trade away the first pick 1 overall?
Yes, I've seen that, and I actually like that.
Okay.
To move back down. I think that's a brilliant. I really do think that's a good one.
Maybe trade with the Colts for 4 overall.
Yeah.
But I think they'd only do that if they had a good idea of whoever they trade with for 1, and who the Texans are going to take.
Yeah, it goes on that one, isn't it? It might be a on the night draw. It might be an on the night thing. It won't be done now. It's going to be right. We've got our quarterback we want. Let's see if we can go up and go from there. Because the Colts have done okay in free agency. They're not doing too bad at all.
I will say one thing about the Panthers, though. They are stacking their roster at the moment, which we'll move on to later on. Yeah. And I think they're going to be one of the dark horses this season. I mean, I know it's very, very early, but the fact that they're signing big names.
I'm 100% in agreement with you, Shano. I really am.
Although surely the Colts are going to be fine because they're going to sign Gardner Minshew, who you three seem to think is a starter.
Oh, brother!
Let me tell you something, brother. Minshew Mania's running wild in Indianapolis.
In Indianapolis tonight, brother.
Honestly, you're gonna see the new mega powers when Jonathan Taylor and Minshew just shake hands and you just feel it, brother. You are going to eat so much humble pie, and we're going to send you a side of crow. Honestly,
well, I mean,
I'm calling out. The Colts will be in the playoffs this year. I called the Jags last year, and as the reigning, defending champion of predictions, I'm calling this now. The Colts will be in the playoffs. Now they will be one and done, but the Colts will be in the playoffs next year with Gardner Minshew.
The past 3 days, I've been looking for this market that you guys told me Minshew was going to have.
And he did. The Colts struck while the iron was hot. The other teams were too perplexed, and they were going, "Whoa, that deal's too hot for us to handle. Too cold to hold."
I mean, it's not happened yet. one, it's not actually happened yet. It's that they're after Gardner Minshew. Two, it'll be for a backup job.
Look. Just because Schefter and McCaffrey aren't all over the place, just because Skeep and Shannon Sharp aren't reporting it, doesn't mean it's not happening right now. My sources are telling me that Minshew is a hot commodity and he is wanted by multiple
Good.
NFL teams.
Can we just go back a second to where you said Schefter and McCaffrey?
Yeah.
He knows what he meant. He knows what he meant.
I know exactly what I meant. I know exactly what I meant by that reference. All right? And Minshew didn't tell me to lose his number.
No. All right, I'm going to take a little bit of, I'm going to go, right. I kind of broke this before it got broken.
Yeah, you were all over it.
Yeah. I saw a few things. I heard a couple of things going, that's going to happen. And what happened 6 hours later? Zeke gets released.
I'm just wondering, do you not think this is taking a bit of a risk because we don't know how Pollard's going to come back from his injury?
Yeah.
So Cowboys are picking what? Around about 20?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
There's going to be a very good running back available around about that time.
Well, one that maybe from Texas too. Anyway.
Yeah. So I was speaking to my old work colleague was messaging me last night, who's the Cowboys fan.
Yes.
No, where is it? No, that's not who I want. That's who I want. His response was, very glad this is happening. Now go and get D-Hop.
I've seen that today, mind as well. He wants to play for the Cowboys.
And he's gone. Pollard is much more explosive than that. That big contract on Zeke could be used elsewhere. Lack of cap space doesn't help. He still thinks they're going to go grab a DB in the draft, being as a Dallas thing to do. But yeah, that's what his thing is. He thinks that he's glad. He thinks it's a good thing. He thinks Pollard is the right way to go, and they want D-Hop, which they do need wide receivers in that.
I think they're not going to get D-Hop. I think they're going to get a certain Beckham Jr.
The D-Hop's been rumored to be everywhere and anywhere.
Yeah.
Do you think D-Hop to New England's off now? You've got Juju.
Yeah. Do we think, though, this is a good thing is this the correct thing that Dallas have done? Are they doing the correct thing? Are they taking a risk? What's the census around the group?
I do think it's a good thing, but I would be worried because we don't know how Pollard's going to come back from his broken ankle or broken leg or whatever it was.
They seem to have an issue with broken bones in Dallas, don't they? What happens to their quarterback?
And broken hearts. I said off air that I'm mildly conflicted about this because one, I'm not surprised the Dallas Cowboys did this, but at the same time I am surprised because I always felt that Jerry was really, really loyal to Zeke and Dak. Like I've always got the impression that yes, he's had relationships with players in the past, like Troy Aikman and the other ones from like the 90s teams. But I always got the impression that because Zeke and Dak are like BFFs and best friends for life, that he wasn't ever going to get rid of Zeke. So I'm surprised, but I'm not. But I also think Zeke's done, genuinely done. And this might just be a way to get him off the roster to bring in some new blood because the Cowboys might be in a rebuild.
I think he's playing on his name. He's playing on his name. It's a very expensive name to have.
Exactly, and I can't see many other teams pick him up. Honestly, it's not a shock against Zeke because I think he's a very talented player, but he's done. I think he's blown, and unless you're looking to just slap his name on the back of a jersey.
49ers.
Honestly, I've always rated Ezekiel Elliott.
The thing that surprised me is they released him after McCarthy was in the combine. Was like, yeah, I want to run the ball I want to be a run the ball team, and then they release like their like more workhorse running back.
Yeah, but how
So-
much of like a coach saying things like that in the media is he telling people what he wants them to hear as opposed to what is actually going to happen?
Yeah, Zeke has become a third down running back. He hasn't scored a non-red zone touchdown in 3 years.
Wow.
No, you know, that is within the 10 yard or 20 yards in 3 years. That is a problem. He's running out of gas. He's on reserve gas now. He's in, he needs to stop off the petrol station very, very quickly.
So
Otherwise,
are
that guy's going to
you
stop.
suggesting he might retire?
I'm not going to say he's going to retire. I think he's going to do a Adrian Peterson type thing, a
Bounce around different
Frank
teams.
Gore type thing.
Yeah.
You're there.
Yeah,
You're
one
there.
year deal here, 1 year deal here, 1 year deal here, just to go places. I personally could see him in Washington. I could even see him in Indianapolis. I could even see in Chicago. They've got a massive cap space in Chicago. They've still got 50 million left to play with.
Yeah.
Wow, imagine going from the Cowboys to the Indians.
Or to the Bears.
Mm.
Bears. I think we've left the Green Bay fans and the New York fans hanging on long enough now. Hopefully, we're not going to be told to get out of his phone. Aaron Rodgers has come out yesterday and told the Pat McCaffrey show. I wish we had people do this on our show. He's intending to play for the New York Jets. That is his plan. That is what he's told Green Bay. That is what he's told New York. He's also told Schefter to get out of his phone or lose his phone number, and a couple of other people.
Wow.
Yeah. And all his demands that we tweeted out as well, and I really should put an apology because I don't want to be told to get out of anyone's phone. He said these demands were stupid. He said he's gone, yeah, I like playing with these players. He's given glowing references to former teammates, like you do anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
But the facts that the people have gone, like, he wants Alan Lazard, he wants Randall Cobb, he wants Beckham, he wants Mercedes Lewis, aren't exactly true.
I think Cobb will end up there.
Yep.
Lazard's
He's got Lazard now, as it is.
I think Lazard. I think they've overpaid for Lazard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
although it may not be demands, I think New York may have looked at this and said, well, if we get these people, he might be more likely to want to come.
At the end of the day, they've got a very good wide receiver in Garrett Wilson, a very good young wide receiver. He's not going in there as a rookie. He's going to have him straight away. He's got a year in the NFL. Brilliant. This lad's going to be electric. I understand why he's going to say, well, Beckham is Odell Beckham. He's one of the best players in the league.
Which is
And I
nice.
think it'll annoy the big blue off a little bit.
I was going to say, this isn't Beckham from
Or
6
was
years
one.
ago. This is Beckham coming off the side of it. Did he do his ACL or his...
Yeah.
ACL.
Okay, I'll rephrase that.
Yeah.
What was one of the best players in the league.
Yeah.
I just like to say I don't think Beckham was ever one of the best players in the league.
Beckham will forever only be known for that catch that he did in his first season in
Yeah.
New
Yeah,
York.
rookie season against Dallas where all the flags were flying.
And he's got a Super Bowl for being on the roster because he didn't really contribute to that Super Bowl winning team.
I'll disagree with that bit.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
disagree
think
with that too.
I don't know. No, I'll die on that hill. I don't actually think he contributed.
He contributes. He contributes in the playoffs enough.
Yeah, in the playoffs all day long.
Do you one thing that people have been skirting over, and the more I've thought about it, the more I've gone, actually, this could be quite beneficial for him, is New York aren't really considering this move as a long term. This is a 2-year max situation
2-year
for the New
deal.
York Jets.
Mhm.
I potentially think that sitting Zach Wilson behind Aaron for 2 years with a veteran, with, I don't want to say like a leader, but like somebody that actually has really good mechanics. He knows how to win in big game scenarios. He's quite fluent in terms of being able to read a defense, change plays to the beneficial of his offense. I still think with this move, Zach Wilson's got a future at the Jets.
Ollie, you said something similar, didn't you, the other day?
Yeah, I said exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, Zach Wilson is in his rookie contract. You know, Brett Favre had Aaron Rodgers behind him for 2 years. Jimmy G sat behind Tom Brady for 2 years. Jordan Love sat behind
Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers for 2 years. So we're
Steve
now
Young
going to
sat
get,
behind Joe Montana.
that I didn't know.
Sorry, what?
So it's always really hard for a rookie to go, there you go and play in a shit team for a year. You know, and expect that, you know, you're very lucky if you have a rookie quarterback that gets your team to the playoffs. And I'll say that. But yeah, having Zach Wilson,
Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
right player, right time.
I mean, Jimmy
Zach
Garoppolo
Wilson's-
learned so much from Brock Purdy. It's unreal. Honestly, it's ridiculous.
Shut the duck up. Yeah. So yeah, Zach Wilson is going to sit behind, you know, a 4-time MVP player, taking the teams to the playoffs numerous times, has won a Super Bowl. Let's not forget that. He's going to learn a lot from Aaron Rodgers, how he's going to be a TV host, you know, how to grow his hair and look like a hippie for a year, you know, how to date a racing driver, and all these things that Zach Wilson needs to know to be a successful player in the NFL.
You missed out one very important one.
Live in a hole.
How to sit in darkness for 4 days with nothing.
Damn, knew I forgot something. But no, all seriousness, Green Bay, you know, New York aren't losing anything. You know, they've got this kid on a rookie deal for 4 years. Next year, you'll go, right, we're going to have your 5th-year option. Aaron Rodgers is going to retire after 2 years. There you go. You've got the keys to the Lamborghini now.
Have you seen
built this team up.
Have you seen that Rodgers said that when he went into his darkness retreat, he was 90% retiring?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I've seen that. Didn't he say that on the Pat show?
Yeah, he did.
On you know, Monday with Aaron.
Wow, I did not know that. That's
Guys, in all seriousness, right, it must be a hard decision to take something from your life, which has been a huge part of it for so long. You can't just turn it off and be like, oh, yeah, I'm done now. You know, you've got to reevaluate your whole entire life and see where you go as a person, not just an athlete, from here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, completely.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people forget that the athletes are also human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, me and this man below me, we've stopped our playing days. You know, and it's hard to adjust to being
civilian life, as it were.
A civilian and not
true.
doing, but you know, not doing something you love on a Saturday, you know, afternoon or Sunday morning or whatever day it was. But yeah, I mean, these guys have like literally they train 5 days a week, they play once a week, you know, they have so much they give up so much. You know, Tom Brady said he didn't see his kids for weeks on end because of the demands that it had to go through to be a success in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have kids. He's not married. He hasn't got. Don't think he's with anyone at the moment. I know he's had like some famous partners in the past, but perhaps you're going into that going, I actually just want a normal life now.
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't have a particular. Aaron's always like blow my mind, and he's almost like the NFL equivalent to Joaquin Phoenix because he has like a proper SoCal hippie lifestyle. He doesn't have a really good relationship with any members in his family. He has, you know, up and down celebrity relationships. Doesn't have any kids. He's got a weird outlook on life that rubs some people up the wrong way, especially with like the NFL media. And he's kind of always like, even me sometimes, I've gone from thinking Aaron's actually amazing to Aaron, shut up, you hippie weirdo. He's not looked on the same way as like Brady, where he's held up on this pedestal. He's not even looked upon the same way as like how Peyton Manning is seen as well. Like he's not. Well, Aaron's done without the Super Bowl record. Aaron's had just as a good of career as anybody else, and I didn't think he was going to retire. I mean, I told you the other day, Ollie, when we were texting, I was going, I still thought he was probably this is going to be like a massive smoke show and he's still going to end up in Green Bay. But now that he's come out and gone, no, I'm going to play I'm going to play for the New York Jets.
He's probably saying because he couldn't find a beach to make a video on, I expect.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, yeah. Did you see someone was selling this like the sand in the area where Tom Brady announced his retirement? I go, that's genius. That's genius. I love capitalism sometimes.
But yeah, I mean, I've after watching the video, watching bits from Pat Mac show, I'm going, yeah, I empathise with him a lot. There's press who think they know him and they think they've got these special relationships with him, breaking news because they've got these contacts. It's like, don't be a dick. Let him do what he wants to do. It's like Schefter last year, wasn't it? Tom Brady's going to retire. 4 days, 4 days or 5 days, whatever it was, before Tom Brady actually did decide to come out of retirement. So I don't really like Schefter anyway. Schefter tries to be the one that has the breaking scoop and all that as well, but Schefter's going to lose a few friends if he keeps going the way he is.
I've got some breaking news here.
Right.
The New York Giants have added to their wide receiving core by re-signing Darius Slayton to a 2-year contract.
Oh, okay. That's good. Boys, as you're aware, and I'm in work at the moment, I'm due to go back to work in the next 3 minutes. Can you just make me a quick promise? When I go back, can you please cover the bits and pieces that the Ravens have been going on? It hasn't been a lot, but there's a Calais Campbell release, which is quite sad. There's Chuck Clark going to the Jets. There's Josh Oliver going somewhere. Can't remember where it was. But yeah, like I said, just don't leave them out. I understand we've got 49ers and Pat's news, and I completely get that. Just don't leave my boys out.
So go on then, give us a quick call then.
Baltimore Ravens have re-signed Justice Hill. Done.
Why? Why? I don't understand why. I don't get it. It's okay. I'll be back on Thursday and I'll give a full rundown if you're going to be too busy with
very quickly before you go. Calais Campbell, how big of a loss is he going to be for your defense?
Huge. Not just as a player, but as a person around the team. You could see that he was good for the team, good for the players, good for the city of Baltimore as a whole. He was only there 3 years, but I think he had the same sort of impact as Mark Ingram had when Mark Ingram was there. He was a big mouthpiece and a big personality on the team. Yeah, don't get me wrong, he's aging. I think he's a little bit older than me, which God knows that's old.
He's 37.
Well, all right, in fact, he's my age, but that sounds weird. But yeah, he was a huge personality. But John has said, and Eric DaCosta has also said, that this might not be the end. He may come back. So they may try and sort of sign him to a bit more of a team-friendly deal.
Wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, at that age, you're going to obviously, it's up to them whether they want to carry on playing or not. And if they want to take a team-friendly deal, then I'd love to see him back.
Brilliant. There we go. We've now covered Baltimore Ravens.
I don't want to swear. It's a family show. Gentlemen, have a great show. I will catch you soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Phil.
Good night, Phil.
Bye, everyone. Good night, Shane. I'll get it right one. Get your ass back on the camera, you.
And then there were two.
Oh, you're a monster, Ollie. You're a monster.
Gentlemen, free agency.
Yeah, this took
I
me a
couldn't
while.
generally keep up on Monday.
This took me a while to type out.
Mate, Monday I was like, I'm losing track. Trying to keep up with all the tweets. I was literally
Monday I was on a train, hotspotting my iPad from my phone from the Wi-Fi on the train, all the Wi-Fi on the train, which wasn't good.
It was crazy. I mean,
I got to where I was going, got to the hotel. My sister's like, "So who's this Hargreaves guy?" I was like, "Hold on, we signed Hargreaves."
Owen Hargreaves, former Bayern Munich player,
and Man United,
and Man United. Yeah, that's very true.
Pundit.
Yeah. So there has been some brilliant deals. I think some teams have done some great work. Indianapolis have done well. Carolina have done well as well. Carolina have done well as well, and Atlanta.
You can see I've made loads of spelling mistakes, like Darren Waller tarded to the Giants. But yeah,
you normally have a go at me for getting it wrong. Yeah, I mean, which one has jumped out the most to you guys? Non-Niners. Yes, Philip.
Jimmy Garoppolo in Las Vegas. Because
Somehow he still managed to get into the Niners comment. Yeah, okay.
no, genuinely, it's become the biggest quarterback story of the offseason, and I can understand them wanting to move on from Derek Carr and looking elsewhere because they've hit that ceiling, and Derek Carr's ceiling is pretty good. But then they've then signed Jimmy Garoppolo, who has hit his ceiling, and I would argue that Jimmy is not as his ceiling isn't as high as Derek Carr's.
Yeah, but do you think Jimmy's long term?
Yeah, he's only 30. I think he's there for 5 years.
Here's what I think. I think they sign a rookie, sitting behind Jimmy for a year or two, and then we have a Jimmy Trey Lance situation in Las Vegas.
So this is my take on it. Jimmy is the perfect fit for Las Vegas. Not because of what he is or the player he is, the personality he is. Not bad looking bloke.
Duh.
A young, free and single bloke in a party city, is a fairly relaxed franchise. Doesn't take things overly seriously. Does what he needs to do. Just like Las Vegas.
I think the only player on that offense that will benefit from Jimmy Garoppolo is Josh Jacobs. As we've seen in San Francisco, he doesn't throw further than 15 yards. He doesn't hit the long ball. So that's Devontae Adams done. That's him done. Because Devontae Adams is, that deep ball, cut inside. Jimmy Garoppolo does not do that. So that's Devontae Adams done. They've traded away their tight end. If you saw like some of the social media outbursts, like after he announced they were signed, whether or not you look into it, whether or not you just look at the service level, I don't think that trade is going to go down well within the organization because Carr, again, probably like how Jimmy was looked upon with his teammates in San Francisco, and I think that kind of went down as Brock Purdy mania went up, and I still feel sorry for Trey Lance and all of that. Derek Carr was really liked by the Raiders organization, i.e. the players in that team. And him leaving, a lot of the, emotions turned to, well, I don't like McDaniels, or McDaniels has tanked us. And, what's his name? Owner. Oh, God. Mark Davis. He's kind of like a up and down character anyway. And they've just signed this quarterback that isn't their mate, that isn't their, person that they've gone to battle with over the last couple of seasons. And I just don't think he is what the Raiders need. I think they should have drafted a young quarterback in the draft and let McDaniels murder him.
It's funny
you know who I feel sorry for?
Go on.
Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
They've now just signed Jacoby Myers, who does exactly the same job. That slot receiver who makes people miss in the first and second tackle. Hunter Renfrow hardly featured last year. Featured at all.
He was injured.
I was the team. Even when he came back, he still wasn't featured. Even before he was injured, he still didn't feature very much. It was one of his I think it was 8 games he played. In those 8 games, lowest percentage in targets, lowest yardage in gains per yards per catch. He just wasn't utilized in the way that he had been under the previous regime there. So if I was Chicago, New England, New York, both New Yorks in this case, or even Indianapolis or even Tennessee, I'd be trading for Hunter Renfrow.
Fair enough.
Because he is still a very good, and he is that very good slot receiver who has got an outside deep. He can go outside on the deep ball, and he can do the inside stuff as well. He's your dream receiver who can do both things, and that's the one you take. You go, well, he's now going to fall down the depth chart. He's going to be behind Adams. He's going to be behind Jacoby. I'd be going, right, there you go. Let's go and get Hunter Renfrow because he's not going to want to stay there.
So The one I want to talk about is actually sort of concerns the Raiders. Well, it does concern the Raiders too. I want to talk about the big blue trading for Darren Waller.
Oh yeah,
I think
yeah.
Ryan Dable with the two tight end set with Darren Waller and Daniel Bellinger is going to be interesting to watch.
It's very set up for a run-heavy offense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon, just.
Yeah, they're going to be insane this year.
I could see them taking a running back very early, very, very early in this draft.
Yeah, me too. They potentially even take Bijan Robinson if he's still on the board when it gets to them.
Yeah, agree. Completely and utterly agree with that one.
Maybe is it Jabari Long, the second running back?
The guy from Michigan State's not in it this year. He's not eligible.
Yeah, I'm talking
Coburn.
the guy from Clemson.
Yeah, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but yeah, I know the guy you
I think it's Jabari Long, but I'm not 100% on that.
Yeah, completely.
Oh no, Jabari Small. Jabari Small.
Yeah, there's a couple of the Patriot ones I really, really like. Lazard to New York makes sense. It really, really does make sense. Bears have done really good work.
Well, yeah, the Bears
not only just not just in the pick, but yes, okay, they're probably overpaid for some of these players because they got the cap space, but they're making sense. Falcons, it's just rolling across the bottom of the screen. Jesse Bates.
Somebody else that had unlimited cap space, pretty much.
Yeah. Panthers, taking Miles Sanders. He's a bloody good running back. There's your McCaffrey replacement straight there.
Yeah, but Miles Sanders isn't McCaffrey. Miles Sanders had a good year, but I don't think he's that good a running back.
He's not in the McCaffrey, Saquon, that top echelon of running backs. He is in that next echelon, which is where Panthers are aiming now to be.
I'd have him two tiers below.
Yeah, I don't even have him now. I think he's a good running back. His last 2 years have been over 1,000 yards rushing. He's a very, very good running back.
Ollie, what's your opinion on Jonathan Jones being re-signed? Because
love it. Makes absolute sense.
Do you feel like that's making the right decision that they maybe didn't make last season?
Yes. They are going, right, okay, we'll give you a 2 year, now prove yourself that you're worth that big contract. I've liked everything that New England have done in this offseason. Yes, it's a typical New England thing, waiting a couple of days, get the craziness going out the window, the overspending going out the window. Yes, okay, people say we might have overpaid for Juju. It's $33 million over 3 years, guaranteed 20. Well, you've got 25. It's actually $21 million guaranteed.
I know. On the NFL, it said it was 25.5 could rise to 33.
Yeah. Okay. It is. It's the funny thing is, it's what Jacoby wanted. It's the same money that Jacoby wanted, but it's a less of a guarantee. Jacoby wanted 28 guaranteed.
Yeah, because I did say to you, like, with the same contract, would you rather have kept Jacoby? But you said you'd rather have had Juju.
The reason I say Juju, because I see Juju as a genuine number one. I do see. Finally, we have a genuine number one. Now, you've now drafted 2 new offensive tackles. You've kept key players in the defensive side of the ball, which is paramount to us because our defense was one of the best defenses in the league. You add a couple of younger, fast guys to that defense, spot on, especially in the linebacker core. Now, then you go and build that offense. You've got 2 offensive tackles, which are an improvement on Wynn and Trent Brown because those 2 are walking penalties.
Just out of interest, I saw Isaiah Wynn was class 47 as the 47th best free agent by NFL.com, and I meant to bring it up to you.
Yeah, he's a walking penalty. He is a walking penalty. He got flagged on average 3 times a game for either false starts or holding.
Then again, I saw McGlinchey as a walking penalty, and he got $87.5 million. So
yeah. So we've now drafted 2 new tackles. You've now drafted what is a genuine number one. And you've still got Hunter Henry. You've still got, KB. You've still got a couple of other good serviceable wide receivers. Go and draft a couple of some real good skill players in the draft, and then you've got let's go and see what Matt can do for the next 2 years.
And I know I didn't put it on here, but for the James Robinson thing, do you reckon he's going to be behind Stevenson?
Yes, Stevenson will be number one. James Robinson is a James White style receiving running back. Same build, same size, probably a little bit taller, a little bit quicker.
Same first name.
Yeah, so I could see that kind of thing. Obviously, Shane said his thing. You know, Shane's very disappointed about the lack of work that Baltimore have done.
Yeah, I remember he was saying like how the Ravens aren't doing something. So I screenshotted the Justice Hill research. It's like there's your signing.
What do you guys make of San Francisco's?
Interesting. So, Trill, do you want to go first, or shall I go first?
I mean, go on. You say your piece. Say your piece first.
So I'm gonna talk about 4 signings we made. We made some others, but the first one, Javon Hargreaves. I'm really excited about this. Last time we had a quality defensive end and defensive tackle. It allowed Armstead to absolutely eat, which is why he then got that massive contract. So I feel like double teaming Bosa and double teaming Hargreaves is going to allow Drake Jackson, who I assume is going to be our defensive end, and Armstead to get a lot of sacks. The Sam Darnold one, honestly, I don't like this pick. I thought we should have got a veteran, and when I say a veteran, I mean a actual veteran, an Andy Dalton, a Matt Ryan, a Joe Flacco, somebody who was basically past it, that could teach Trey and Brock a lot.
Not someone who sees ghosts and generally wants to still think they're number one.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean I understand getting Sam Dalton as a serviceable QB3, but I would have looked more of a 1-year deal of somebody who can teach our 2nd year and 3rd year player a lot.
So you mentioned Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco went to New York under no illusion that he was going to be starting quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, veterans like himself, like Matt Ryan now probably, and James Winston and Andy Dalton know that highly likely not going to be number ones anymore. Not going to be QB1s. And having that veteran behind, I mean, or even in Green Bay, in New York, when they have Zach Wilson sat behind him, but you've still got Aaron Rodgers you can work. Having that veteran going, when they've made that bad throw or they've been picked, and have that veteran sit down and go, right, okay, let's analyze this. This is how I would have done it. This is what you need to do. It works. It's what Brian Hoyer did with Mac the first couple of years in New York. It does work. It does help. So having that idea, Drew with Tom Brady back in 99, 2000, it works. And this is what teams need, I think, going forward.
So the third one I want to talk about is the re-signing of Jake Brendel. I'm very happy about this. With 2 inexperienced quarterbacks, I feel like the continuity at center is needed. And the fourth and final one I'm going to talk about is the one that dropped last night, which is the is it Klein Ferrell?
Yeah.
This is an interesting one because I didn't realize he was only 2 picks behind Bosa in the draft.
Yeah, I actually thought he was older than he actually was.
Yeah.
Because again, this just goes back to the Raiders and their coaching philosophy and even their drafting philosophy. What we have seen in the past, actually, let's say since the Shanahan-Lynch era, of them picking up free agent defensive tackles, defensive ends, and the 49ers coaching schemes, they just bring something out of them. And then they end up going on this monstrous run, and they come to the end of their contract, and they get a fat contract elsewhere, and they don't quite hit the same heights. Over there.
Arden Key.
Like Arden Key, in particular, I thought he was an absolute monster for us. And then he goes elsewhere, and he kind of lays a goose egg.
I think this is all due to Chris Kukrek.
Oh, 100. That's why I think keeping him in the Bay when D'Amico was hiring all of our coaches left, right, and center was so important, because Shanahan has said himself he would rather have a stacked defense and then work with what he has on the offense.
Yeah.
And I just think I'm actually really, really impressed with that signing. I'm not against it. It's a 1-year deal. If he works out, fantastic, brilliant. Maybe work something out. Unlikely, because there's going to be a lot of players that are going to want to get paid.
He's only on like 2.5 million or something crazy like
There we
that.
go. So I mean, it's kind of like he's going to be using it essentially for, like, depth at the position. But I won't be surprised if he actually gets a couple of really, really key players and stands out in a couple of games.
Brilliant.
I'm not against Sam Darnold, and the reason why is, if we have to look going back to the Lynch Shanahan era, where we have gone through multiple quarterbacks every single season through injury. It's actually quite scary how many quarterbacks we go through. Now, without drawing any comparison or any relation to what Julian Edelman said about former San Francisco quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo and his injury-prone tendencies, Sam Darnold is coachable. Sam Darnold is a good quarterback that's unfortunately been in a couple of organizations where he has not been developed.
Hold on. Let me say it. Darnold is not the problem.
No, 100%. I don't think he's not the problem.
Our third ever podcast was called "Darnold is not the problem."
Yeah. But I don't think he's a problem. And let's be honest. It's going to be in the camp. It's going to be a shootout to see, is Brock Purdy back from his injury? Is Trey Lance actually going to compete for the spot? And it's going to be 1A, 1B between those two. If Darnold can somehow push himself up to that echelon,
become 1C.
Become 1C. I mean, again, this season, and because of me bashing Jimmy Garoppolo, we were massively fortunate the fact that we had 3 quarterbacks that were good enough to play.
Yeah.
We're going to go into the next season with another stacked team. One of the favorites again to get to the Super Bowl, one of the favorites to get to the NFC Championship at least, with the same quarterback that got us there, the same draft pick that's still unproven, and Sam Darnold, who was Sam Darnold drafted at number 1 when he was drafted. So again,
Baker went number 1.
Who is still the leader in the Bay? Okay, yeah. And then you got Sam. I think Sam Darnold will be fine. He's a lot younger than Jimmy Garoppolo. If he's going to play as QB3, he's only there for a year anyway. Again, just like the lad that we picked up from the Raiders last night. I'm not against it. Genuinely, if it actually creates competition, if it creates a better skill of that in that position, I'm actually all right with it.
I think it's good. I think it's crazy that we have the number 3 pick from the 2018 draft, number 3 pick from the 2020 draft, both quarterbacks, and they may be knocked out of starter by the 262nd pick of the 2022 draft.
You've shocked Phil into a
there's one more.
Sorry, am I moving again?
There's one more transaction I'd like to talk about, and that is the one that I put second, and that is Jalen Ramsey being traded to the Dolphins. This made me put a bet on the Dolphins to make it to the Super Bowl this year.
And then he woke up.
I think Jalen Ramsey is a great trade.
What a stupid statement. I'm sorry.
Mate, Jalen Ramsey, until he won that Super Bowl, was a good quarterback and one of the best shutout quarterbacks in the league. Jalen Ramsey last year was diabolical, and that's putting it nicely.
Yeah. Second best quarterback according to PFF.
I don't see it. It's going to be interesting, the first open training session they have with him and Tyreek Hill, because don't forget, he threw Tyreek Hill in flag football. I think, I'm not worried about Jalen Ramsey. I really am not going to get worried about it. I don't think Jalen Ramsey is
I can't wait for him to pick off Mac.
More likely Mac.
2 or 3 times.
I don't see it as he's going to improve that Dolphins defense too much at all. I really don't. Yes, it gives them competition. Yes, it gives them experience to get into Super Bowl. Yes, it gives them experience in that secondary. That is about it.
If you can
That
get
is all it is. It's a
if you
third
can
round
get-
pick and it's
if
20
you-
million.
if you can get Ramsey to, excuse my French, give a shit again, then it's a good signing.
That's it. If.
Mm.
If's a big word, and I don't really think he gives a flying fuck anymore. Excuse my language. I really don't. I think he's just doing it for the paycheck now. I'm on a Patriots group chat, as we know, and I really don't see, and a lot of people go, I'm not worried about that. Yes, there is a good 30% going, oh, great, that's us finishing fourth in the group, in the division, especially if Rodgers goes there. But that's the negative nannies that every fan base have. Unless you've got like Mahomes, Chase, the best running back, the best wide receiver too, the best tight end, the best of every position, you're going to finish fourth in every division, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
But a good 70% going, that doesn't really affect me because it's their offense isn't that good.
Their
And it
offense is
depends
good,
how
though.
if Tua gets another knock, they're screwed.
Yeah.
They are absolutely screwed. So yeah, Jalen Ramsey really doesn't bother me at all. And it probably made a forced Patriots to go and get Juju. It probably forced that hand. But I really don't give it. It really doesn't bother me. What about you, Mr. Perrins?
I think with Jalen Ramsey, I mean, when the odd occasion when the Rams were playing and it wasn't against the 49ers and I watched him, he didn't even remotely look like the same player. And I don't know whether or not it was, injury, mental wise, or just that he just lost that desire. He doesn't look the same player. We talked about earlier about with the ring. Yeah, the ring. I mean, we've seen players before that have just played for a ring and that's it. Their career's done because they've won that Super Bowl ring. It's very hard to want to get back to the top of the mountain. But we said earlier when we talked about Zeke, he's got nothing left in the tank. Has Jalen Ramsey got anything left in the tank? I don't know. I mean, it seems like your dad's just left the room. You might disagree with me, Ollie.
No,
But,
I accidentally kicked a chair.
So, but I think he's peaked. I think he will forever just play off the fact that he's a Super Bowl winner, like Odell Beckham Jr. He will live off the catch for the rest of his life. And I want to be wrong. It's not like I want to write players off, but that's kind of why we have the draft, isn't it? To kind of like refresh rosters, to see, players that aren't as good anymore being replaced by players that are good at this present moment in time. And I just think that Ramsey won't be in the league, or he won't be starting after next season.
Just hear me for a second though. Imagine
Please.
Ramsey goes back to his LA Rams Super Bowl winning season form.
Mm-hmm. Unlikely,
Him-
but yes.
Him and Xavier Rhodes as cornerbacks in Miami.
Yeah, it could
That
be
could
good.
be scary.
Agreed.
It could be good. It could be good, but that's as likely to happen as the Dolphins getting to the Super Bowl.
I mean, have Jalen Ramsey on that TikTok guy that occasionally catches a ball that New England just signed, and that could be interesting.
Miami will not get to the Super Bowl. Will not even get to the playoffs.
At
One, Tua is their
at
quarterback.
25-1, I thought it was a decent.
When was the last time the Dolphins got to the Super Bowl? Was it in Ace Ventura? No, I know I've just made a joke about like a film that came out in 1994, but when was the last time that the Dolphins legitimately... Don't tell me it was the Super Bowl in 84 when we absolutely killed them.
I think it was Marino.
I think it was the 80s.
Jesus Christ.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may or may not know, but this week is our second birthday. We have been
Happy birthday
in
to you.
in our lives, or in your lives, for 2 years. So to celebrate that, we have decided for you guys to enter a competition. So we put on Twitter which team did the legendary Hall of Fame GOAT Trent Dilfer win
Such a
Super
double
Bowl
negative.
ring
There's so much grammatical errors in that sentence. I cannot tell you.
in? You'd love it.
Coming from the teacher.
there's so many negative errors in that. I can't believe it.
So, like I said, we have put in a competition to win a 2023 draft cap. So, as soon as they come out, we'll order one up. We'll DM you after the show, you know, the winner, blah, 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 to get your address. And we will, as soon as we've got it, we'll post it out to you. We've got quite a few competition winners on here. I'm just going to share my other screen.
I'm going to bet now that Kelly wins. just gonna say this now. I'm gonna bet Kelly wins.
So I'm gonna shuffle it a couple of times.
You can shuffle it all you want, Ollie. You can shuffle it all you want.
I'm gonna shuffle it a lot more times. There we go. Right. And I'm gonna spin the wheel. And if Kelly does win, I'm gonna blame Phil.
You're welcome, Kelly.
It saved double postage, and we are off.
Are we? Oh, we are.
It's really slow on that one
Yes.
screen there.
It was working earlier.
Is it because we're live?
Yeah,
Could be.
possibly. Is it going to come up? Is it come up on the other computer? John Lewis, the long-time Raider fan, has won. John, I don't know if you're watching or not. If you are, congratulations. If not, we're going to spin it again. Someone else going to win it. No, joking. I'm guessing you're going to want what do you reckon? Broncos hat?
Chiefs.
I'll send that straight
Chiefs
to
and Chargers.
Congratulations, John. I'll DM you on Facebook on Twitter from our thing to get your address and to confirm that you want a Raiders cap. Congratulations on that. Yeah, as I said, we've been around for 2 years now.
2 years yesterday.
2 years.
I know. I mean,
Years Tuesday, yeah.
I mean, what I can do, I know I've only been on the pod for like the year since this season, but I've actually loved being a part of this family. Like I've enjoyed saying no for last year's one.
Yeah, blame Tom. Blame Tom for
that
that one.
Take it up with Tom. He ran that competition without asking us.
Kelly, I mean, obviously, because you're listening, when he was practicing this earlier, he practiced it twice and your name came up twice.
That is true.
It's like, oh, I'm just going to randomize it, came up Kelly. And like, oh, I'm going to shuffle it a couple of times, came up with Kelly again. Like, oh, this is like the biggest fix ever.
No.
Biggest fix.
Yeah,
Maybe we should get Kelly her Bengals hat after all too.
Yeah, get Ella a Lions cap. She'll love that. Yeah, it's been a brilliant couple of years. I mean, I've really enjoyed having you and Shane on the show. You know,
it has been. It's definitely made the show better having you two on it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
having people who know about the NFL helps.
Yeah, having people that know about more than one team.
Yeah,
That's true.
I'm sure. So about one team in Aaron Rodgers.
And only offend.
Yeah, it was offensive side of the ball. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been another mental week in the NFL, and I'm probably going to wake up to a load more drafts, free agents, picks ups tomorrow, and as per usual, I've been tweeting them out as I go on.
Kelly saying, and people that turn up.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Right. Before we get into any more trouble, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. As always, stay safe all.